And welcome to Drama Club with Val
And Sam.
So you might notice that last week we were really distant. We were quite far apart. But today we're sat close together. And that is because Sam has been here for a certain amount of time and he's passed his quarantine and he's okay and we're both really safe and really well. And we hope you're really safe and really well over there too. How you doing today? You know that you can actually put in the chat anything that you want to say to us. Okay, so we know that our friend Adrian is over there in Doncaster. Adrian, why don't you say hello to everybody through the chat? Say hello. And you can communicate with us through the chat, and Adrian will talk to us as well. And it would be really wonderful to hear how you're feeling today and what's going on for you. Sam and I are here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which is about 3,500 miles and an ocean away from where you might be over there in Doncaster or near Doncaster. So the weather here is really beautiful today. You remember that pesky fly? I don't know if you guys joined us before, but before we had this fly that kept bothering us. There's no flies today. It's absolutely beautiful, and we're just really, really loving the weather here on our front porch. We also should say it's only 10 o'clock in the morning here. So not only are we so far away, we are also so many hours away from you as well. So anyway, we are going to start as we normally do with the feeling sculpt. So Sam is going to show us how he's feeling using his body, using his facial expressions. So Sam, how you doing today? What do we think about Sam? I think Sam might be feeling a little bit down, a little bit tired, a little bit sluggish. Maybe he hasn't finished his first coffee yet. I don't know. But anyway, Sam's not feeling really great. Anyway, Sam, I'm hoping that by the end of the session, you're going to be feeling a lot more awake and a lot more alive. Now, me, on the other hand, I'm feeling... I'm ready! Woo! So you see, when you have a lot more energy, you also tend to kind of you tend to be a little bit bigger, a little bit more expressive. So how are you feeling today? Do put it in the chat. Adrian, let us know how you're feeling too. I know we can't see you. You can't show us, but you can tell us, and you can tell us all about what's going on for you. Alrighty. Great. So we are going to do some more storytelling and some more drama. We're going to be using our bodies, our facial expressions. We're going to be trying to remember some of the things that we've done in the other sessions. I don't know if you've made any of those, but we were very much wondering about smell and what you could taste, what you could touch, what you could see, and what you could hear. So using all of our senses in storytelling and in kind of acting and creating and making all of these things happen for you. And you don't need much. We don't even have any props today. We just have ourselves. That's it. That's all we have. So we're going to start off with this game, which starts off with us actually, we probably need to adjust ourselves. We want to make sure that you can see us. So, and Sam's quite a bit taller than me. So, I don't know, can you see his head? Is that okay? Can you see him? I don't know. Anyway, we're going to try. We're going to do our best here, okay? So it's going to start off with me doing a freeze frame, like we did the freeze frame for our feelings. Okay, so my first freeze frame is going to be like this. And Sam can have a look at me, and he can sort of determine what's going on here, and he can think about it. And he can think, how is he going to respond to this? How is he going to react to this using his body, using his facial expressions? So now I get to look at Sam. I get to look at him. And I get to think, gosh, what's going on here? What might he be doing? And I'm going to choose a different freeze frame. Okay, and like most games, they just go on and on and on until you decide to stop them. But we thought that was a really good physical warm-up to get us physically warmed up, not just our bodies, but also our faces, our expressions, our feelings, and thinking about how are we going to show our feelings rather than just talk about them. Now, this is a game that's called Billy Liar, and it actually wants you to lie. Okay, so you might know about this one. Now, what Sam is going to do is he's going to start out and he's going to be doing a freeze frame. He's going to be doing a mime. So he's going to be doing something and he might be making some sounds and things like that. And I'm going to ask him what he's doing. And it's going to be pretty obvious what he's doing, but he's going to lie to me and he's going to tell me I'm doing something else. And the thing that he tells me that he's doing is the thing that I then need to do. And then he's going to let me do my mime for a little bit. And then he's going to say, Val, what are you doing? And then I'm going to lie to him and tell him I'm doing something that I'm not doing, but something that I want him to do. Okay, you ready? I know it sounds complicated, but like a lot of games, it's a lot easier to show it and to play it rather than actually just to talk about it. Okay, so let's stop talking about it. Let's do it. All right, great. All right, are you ready? Hello, hi. We're just saying hello to our neighbors. What's really nice is that we're out here in this beautiful place and we are surrounded by these wonderful people. Yeah, we're live on Facebook. Yay! And she's walking her baby down the street. It's a beautiful day. It's really lovely. Anyway, so Sam is going to be, you're going to be doing something, Sam, okay? So let's see your mime. I'm going to be watching Sam. And I'm going to let him go because I think he's like really, really good at this mime thing. So I'm going to kind of let him go for it a bit. Yeah. Hey, Sam, what are you doing?
I'm mowing the lawn.
Ah, okay. All right, so check the connection here. Okay.
Hey, Val, what are you doing?
I'm taking a shower. Sam, what are you doing?
I'm swatting flies.
Sam knows I'm very good at this one. Ooh, where's that fly? Whack! Oh, got away again. They're so good at this. Whack! Oh, 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 oh.
Val?
Yes?
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm planting a seed. Sam, what are you doing?
I am kayaking.
I love kayaking. Oh my goodness. And the thing with kayaking is you have to really be balanced. So I'm going to try and stay very balanced.
Watch out for the rock.
Oh. I do get a little bit nervous though. I'm not a very, very good kayaker.
Not observant enough.
No, I'm not observant enough. It's true. You have to be very, very observant on the water, especially. Yes?
But look, Val, can you please
Yes.
just tell me what you're doing?
I am driving a car in a Formula One race. That's so good. I don't want to stop them, but I think that's where we'll stop. Well done, Sam. I think you're probably very warmed up now, aren't you?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, okay, so pull up a chair.
That worked
Pull
a
up a
treat.
chair. I know, I think that was good. It's woken him up. It's It's better than any kind of coffee whatsoever. So we're back in our seats. We feel really, really warmed up. And we're warmed up not just in our bodies, but also in our minds. And our imaginations are kind of really woken up and thinking about all of the things that we can imagine that we can do. And it's kind of limitless, isn't it? I mean, we can kind of make up all of these stories that we like. So we'd like to do this kind of storytelling. We're going to be doing a lot of sitting, but we will still be using our hands and our facial expressions and some body motions and everything. But we're going to basically, we're going to do some storytelling one sentence at a time. Now, Sam and I don't know exactly where the story is going to go. We have discussed what this first story might be about and the way that we're actually going to build on it. But we don't know what the other person is actually going to say right now. So we haven't really planned this out. So what we wanted to talk about was a bird. Because this actually happened last night, or at least the beginning of the story happened last night. And we thought, wouldn't it be a fantastic thing? It's actually to take something that kind of happened and then use that as the sort of basis for a story. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So Sam, do you want to start it off? So just with the first sentence, and then I'll do a sentence, and then Sam will do a sentence, and we'll see how it goes. And then maybe we'll really want to act out part of it as well. That'd be cool, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Great. Let's go. Let's go for it.
It started with a bang.
Lorraine came outside of her house.
She pointed at something on the ground.
It was a dove. A beautiful dove that looked all the same color until you looked at it. You looked at its feathers and you saw that there were all different sorts of colors that you didn't expect. Blues and pinks and grays and an orange within its feathers.
And so we approached the dove very, very cautiously. Because if you startle the dove, well, it could get very, very panicked. So we approached it very, very slowly to make sure it was okay.
And it seemed to be just sitting on the ground, despite the fact that it had obviously had this huge shock. And it seemed okay.
But still, we approached it slowly, just to make sure. And we went up as close as we could, without startling it. And we asked it, "Are you okay, Mr. Dove? It seems you had a bit of a fall."
And the dove spoke back to us and said, "It's Ms. Dove to you. I know humans aren't very good at noticing those types of things, so I just wanted to let you know it's Ms. Dove. And I've had a bit of a shock. This window was way too clean, and I really thought that I could just fly through it. I saw the reflection, and I thought I was flying amidst the trees."
And so we asked, "Well, where? Where were you actually going, Miss Dove?"
Ms. Dove.
Ms. Dove.
Yeah.
We apologised profusely for the mistake, but wanted to know where this journey was going to take place.
And Ms. Dove said, "Well, I know you know that the temperature's changed a little bit, and that things are, the climate is shifting here, and I am headed to warmer climates."
And so we said, "Warmer climates? Well, that sounds pretty fun. Sounds pretty good. Do you think maybe you could take us with you?"
And we could see that she was a little bit unsure about whether or not she wanted company on this journey, because after all, she had been doing quite okay by herself. However,
she had had a slight issue with one of her wings. It didn't seem to be working quite as well. So she said to us, she said, "Look, it's really not very normal for dove regulation to bring you with me, but given that my wing's not working too well, maybe you could help me fly again, and maybe I'll bring you with me."
we were very excited, and we were wondering, how on earth where we're going to be able to fly with the dove.
So, we thought, well, let's at least get the dove what it needs to be able to fly again. So, sure enough, she asked for 3 small seeds of any description, a bowl of water, and some can-do attitude.
Well, Sam and I thought, we've got can-do attitude. We've got a lot of that. That's actually okay. We're ready to go. And we got her the bowl of water, and we found the 3 small seeds in our garden, because we were just about to actually start planning for the autumn.
And so, the bird said, right, with that water, I want you to feed it gently into my beak, okay? That's the first step, okay? And then, she said, with those seeds, when I say, on the count of 3, throw, I want you to throw those seeds up in the air. And the final step is to say, I believe you can fly! And so
you know what we did? Shall we show? Shall we show them?
Sure.
Here we go.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
I believe I can fly!
And there we were. Afloat. Each of us placed under one of her wings to support her as she flew higher and higher above the treetops, above the houses.
And we were looking down below. We could barely see the house that we'd come from.
No!
It was a little bit scary.
Yeah!
We were like, oh, this is actually quite exciting. This is amazing. We're actually flying. We're flying.
We are!
So we said to the dove, so how far till we get there?
And the dove said, we'll be there any minute now. You just have to close your eyes and believe and dream.
So we closed our eyes and we dreamed. And that lovely gliding sensation, well, it brought us right back to the porch.
And here we are, sharing that story with you. Did you like that? And again, we didn't know where that was going to go, but that was really, I really felt it though. Did you feel it, Sam?
Yeah.
I really felt that, like, we were gliding and that we could see and that we could look down there, and it's both scary and exciting at the same time. But I think we need to have a little bit of like a wiggle, yeah? So let's have a little wiggle. I hope you enjoyed that story. I mean, we really enjoyed kind of creating it and telling it, so I hope that you enjoyed it as much. And we're just going to kind of shake it off. I don't know if you remember sort of like the elbow, the wiggle warm-up. So this is basically you take your hands and you put them on your shoulders, and then you just wiggle your elbows. And when you do that, everything wiggles. And give yourself a little bit of horsey lips. Yeah, okay. So it's really, really important to kind of get up and to move. Even though we were moving a little bit in our chairs, you know, we knew that we were kind of restricted. So we kind of need to do that. All right, so. All right, we're ready. So are we ready for the second story?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
So
what do you think? Second story?
second story.
What's your thoughts? And how are we going to do this?
I mean, you know, we were quite sat down, we were quite static, and I thought that works quite nicely. But we could get up and sort of do a few more active things.
Okay.
Potentially.
Well, I'm wondering, how about this? How about if one of us talks for a bit and the other one acts it out as they're talking?
All right.
And then we can swap roles. How's that? So then the talker can become the actor, and then the actor can become the talker. The sort of narrator, as it were, yeah?
Wonderful.
All right, super. Which one do you want to do? Which one do you want to do first?
Well, I kicked off the last story, so why don't
You
you
did?
start with the narrating?
Okay, with the narrating. Okay, all right,
Okay.
super. All right, great. So, Sam, do you want to push back your chair in this
I
way?
will.
Then you can act, and I can be the narrator here. Can you see Sam? Can you see him? I'm just going to kind of move the frame a bit. Okay. All right. Sorry. There we go. All right. You're mostly seen.
It
It's
might
okay.
cut off my head a little bit.
That's
but
all right. You don't
that's
mind a
okay.
little cut off head. You don't
need
really
to see this head.
No. So where we are, I'm not sure if you can see it. I might actually. There is an absolutely magnificent tree across the street. It is beautiful. It's amazing, and it has been here for a very, very long time. Well before these houses were built, and these houses were built 100 years ago. So it is really a beautiful, beautiful tree. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to tell the story about the tree. So, can you be the tree? And you can see the tree, can't you? Can you be this beautiful, magnificent tree?
Let's get a bit lower.
Yeah. And tell us as the tree. Speak to us as the tree. How do you feel? What do you smell? What can you taste?
Well, I gotta be honest, it smells like burning a little bit. See, I kinda had a little bit of a lightning bolt right through me. So, what can I say? It smells a little bit like, what would you say, like a barbecue, you know? It smells a little bit like a barbecue,
Wow.
well, my branches are sort of complaining of this barbecue-style smell, so that's kind of what I'm smelling. And the birds are a little bit annoyed as well. The ones that like to nest in my branches, they've not been too happy either. So what can I say? Usually it's a lot nicer than this.
Okay. All right. So the poor tree been struck by lightning. It's a very old tree, like I said. So I don't know what's going on when one part of it gets struck by lightning. Is it just a little branch, or is it like the whole thing of you? You said it's going right through you.
It's cut right through my core.
That's terrible. That's really, really awful. Okay, and so at the moment you're feeling burning, and what else do you feel? What else is going on for you throughout? What do you see? What do you hear?
Well, my roots are kind of, they're still reaching, in the places they were reaching, but yeah, it's I gotta say, it's quite uncomfortable right now, and I'm just hoping that I don't know, I might need some human help to get me back to the way things were before all of the lightning bolt, etc., etc. So we'll see.
So what happens next is that the fire department is called because we want to save this tree. Look at this beautiful, noble tree. We want some help. And the firefighters come out and they have a look at the tree and they see that actually, while the lightning has struck the tree can be saved. But there's only one way of doing that. And that's actually not. They can put out the fire that's on a few branches. That's okay. And I imagine that the tree feels quite relieved. And it's a little bit like when you burn yourself and you kind of get some nice cold water on it. It feels so much better, doesn't it? It feels really, really good. So the tree's doing okay. But what the firefighters don't understand, and what the little girl who lives in the house that's just next to this tree understands, is that she actually has to go deep within the roots. And she has to do some healing along the roots. So what she does is she just kind of takes a little dive. Yeah?
Do you want to be the little girl?
I'll be the little girl and you take over the narration. Okay. So now, I'm the little girl and I'm ready to save this tree. Because this tree has been there for me forever. Okay, for as long as I've been alive, this tree has been there for me. And it has given me shade when it's been really hot. And it's been very, very beautiful. And it's home to so many animals. I mean, not just the birds, but all the worms and the insects. And there's a possum and there's a raccoon that loves to climb up that tree. It's really, really cute. So I really, really want to save this tree. It's really important to me. And it's really important to all of us for everything that the tree gives to us. But I know something because I was told by a fairy last year that if something happens to the tree, you need to basically hold your nose and you need to just close your eyes and then you just go, woo! And then you end up
underneath, in this wonderful network of the roots of the tree. And that's where I am right now. And then Sam's going to tell me what happens next.
So the little girl guides herself along the roots in this dark, cavernous place. And it's very difficult to see, but as long as she can feel the roots, then she'll be okay. And as she's stumbling through the dark, oh my gosh. As she's stumbling through the dark, she sees something, a kind of a sort of strange light, sort of almost like some sort of weird, sort of fairy-like light within the roots of the tree. And she's looking at it, and as she goes closer, it looks almost like a sort of a slight lightning, electric-y bolt sort of thing.
Ooh, 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 I've got it. It's weird because I can touch it and it doesn't burn me. But it's I can feel its warmth and it's weighty. It's really heavy. It's heavy. Here it is. I've got it. And I know what I have to do now.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I know that I have to take this out and bring it back to the sky where it belongs. Because this was a mistake. This was an accident in the storm. And so I think what I need to do now is I need to be very, very careful with it because I think it can break. I think it's a little bit like glass, isn't it? So be very, very careful. And it's very smooth and heavy. And I will be really, really careful with this. But I think what I have to do right now, and I can't hold my nose this time, I'm just going to have to not breathe for a second and close my eyes and just wish myself up above. Here I am. And I'm gonna send this up. I'm gonna send this up. Can you help me? Can you help me, Sam? Can you help me?
All right.
Okay, so
It's
here
delicate.
we are. Let's send them up, and we have to, on the count of 3, can we say 1, 2, 3, and then release it back to the sky where it belongs? Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Whoa!
And here we are.
Oh my gosh.
We're back on the porch. Woo! Woo! I didn't know where that one was going.
No, neither did I.
It's kind of fun, isn't it? You know what I mean? You kind of start off and you don't quite know where it's happening, but I thought that was a lot of fun.
That's great.
So we went up in the sky and we went down underground. And we can do all of those things just sitting on the porch.
Straight back on the porch.
Yeah, sitting here in the sunny day and listening to there's a plane overhead.
I even saw a cargo passed earlier, and the man driving it, in the passenger seat next to him was a dog sitting upright as well.
Yeah.
There's inspiration from your porch, from outside your doorstep. So
Absolutely everywhere. And we hope that you can just continue to carry on telling stories to each other, to anybody listen, and and to your pet. I'm sorry that we don't have a pet today, but we were very inspired by the bird that we met last night. Really inspired by the bird. So you can use any of these things as inspiration and remember sort of all of your senses. So your smell, your taste, your touch, what you hear, and what you see. So Sam, I think it's about time. I think it's time for us to say
Already?
goodbye. It is.
that's crazy.
I know. So
My goodness me.
Yeah, next
What a
week's
shame.
our last week together. And next week, we're going to be looking at the future. So we're going to be telling stories about the future and thinking about what future do you want? What do you want to create? Because if you can imagine the future, you can create it. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not the next day, but at some point, some of this is about actually thinking about the future and what you would like to see in the future.
No pandemic, please.
yeah, be really,
That's
really
just-
nice
I'll
to
throw
think
that
about
one out
what
there.
does the future look like without the pandemic.
Yeah,
that would
that'd
be
be
great.
great.
Yeah, it'd
That'd
be
be really
really,
good.
really wonderful. So we will see you next week, 3 o'clock for you, 10 o'clock in the morning for us, back here on a Monday. We hope you've had a really, really great session. I certainly enjoyed it. So bye from Val.
Bye from Sam.
Alrighty, we're signing off now. Bye.